My name's Sharon Cook, previously Wallam. My family is Wallam family from this and around this area.
My name's Leslie Ugle. That's my married name, that last name. I'm part of the Wallam family and the little family of Harvey. So I was born Leslie Ann Wallam. Wadgers know this place as Harvey. Noongar people know it as Korijekup, which is the Noongar name for Harvey.
Korijekup is the place of the red-tailed black cockatoo.
The bird itself has spiritual meaning for our people. It is the king carnaby. It's the largest and it has a distinctive sound as well, but it's also a healing bird. It follows us around in this bush, so everywhere we go it either gives you a signal to stay away or a warning to stay away from certain areas, but it also gives you that heartwarming feeling of being in a safe place.
This area here is quite special because just over the hill is my grandfather's and grandmother's campsites. So this area and along this ridge has special significance for us as a family.
It also sits between the Scarp, the Koromuru and the Mumcourt, the ocean. So all through that area, our people came from the caves. And if you look directly east of us, you'll also see Mount Williams up there, where the old people came from out of those caves and looked across all this area watching the campfires burning. Our people looked after the waterways and looked after the plants and every single thing that you see around here. Even the rocks are different if you go somewhere else. So to me, it's my place. It's a place for me to bring my family, to think about what happened before when our grandparents came up here as their playground. So I think where it sits is a perfect space.
This is where Dad, and further as you go further out the road over that way, it's where he taught us to hunt. There was only 3 of us kids at the time, and so we used to sing, walk along, but you're out in the bush, you're on country, but you're learning. And every time we're on country and in the bush, it's an education.
To me, using the language is completion of who I am. It's my identity. If I weren't able to speak my language like it happened back in the day, I wouldn't feel whole. There would always be something missing. So using the language and the terminology throughout this project, it completes it. I think it sends it into a song where we're singing about our country, singing about our family, singing about our connections, about our storylines from where we come from, all throughout. So bringing that language into it is something that has to be there and should always be there when we're talking about projects like this.
It's a really interesting project, and I love being a part of it because we were pulling place names to pieces and working out, okay, what's so significant about that? And then we were, if we didn't know, we were given a signal that this needs more research. So we would go away and research a certain part of that word. So, finding out what Mylap is, finding out what Binjareb is. And we're still talking and working on that, but we've completed the project and it's been such an amazing journey. And from my experience with teaching Noongar language to decoding these words and these names all over again, it's a different process again. So it was another learning experience for me to be able to do that, and particularly to sit around with a group of people and talk about what's significant, what things happen there, and trying to find what that special part in that word actually means.
My name is Melba Wallam. from the Baruma and Balladong area, from Pendley, born up there, and my father's mob, his brother was from the Binjareb country. I have a lot of connections with the people around the country. Wherever I go, there's always a person there that knows me and the family and which I can reconnect with. This place is called Warrawarrup. Warrawarrup means female kangaroos, the big ones, youngest. Oh, it goes back a long way, and there's a lot of memories here. When I first came here, there was no paddocks. It was all bush along here and just at the railway. We used to get our water from the soak area down at the railway line. This was our camping area here, and it was lovely. Well, I remember my husband and his younger brother. I've got photos of them here in this area, standing by the bush, and I can still see my sister-in-law sitting behind a tree eating a lemon. She used to eat a lot of lemons. You could do what you want to here. Given to, my father-in-law and mother-in-law and the family, from the Manning's family, from Harvey. And we walked the line into town, did our shoppings, and we used to get a taxi back here and do the things that we wanted to do here and to do hunting around. So it was a place where, you can feel at home. I feel happy here just sitting here now, and I cried when I first came here today, and I haven't been back here since the day we left. So now coming back and just seeing some old wrecks of the cars that my husband used to have, it just brings back a lot of memories. There wasn't any other Aboriginals around here then. At that time, it was just us and the Waffle family. So we really enjoyed every part of Harvey, and it was better when we even left this place to move in. When my mother-in-law and father-in-law got a house in Harvey, so we moved into there with a welfare house. We lived on Korijekup Avenue. We had a house out there when we started having families and coming in, the kids going to school. But Korijekup was the first name of the Harvey town. So that's where Korijekup came from. We got a house from a lady that had a shop in Harvey, and the sister-in-laws used to work there. It was good, and her name was Mrs. Williamson. But she put into the sign for my husband and myself to get a house in Harvey, in the town, where we could send our children to school. We didn't stay around there for long, but when we moved from here into the house, it was an exciting time for the family. It has changed since I've been here, and what's happening here now has changed. But when we first came here, we had the bush, and it was just wonderful, and we were to do our own things, and that's where we've been before, and we can still come back to this place today.
Kaya, Nyangan Kwel Brad, Nyang Mudich Binjareb Noongar Marman. Hello, my name is Brad. I'm a proud Binjareb Noongar man from here in the southwest. So today we're meeting in Wokalup, a very special place to us, and particularly myself as a man. A lot of people around here think it's the town name or the place name, but it's actually a sentence. It's a Noongar sentence. So when we go through and decode and deconstruct that sentence, we come up with two words, which is wokal or wokal and up. So up, as we all know, means place of in Noongar. whereas wokel, actually translates to the carpet snake. When we decode those names, we have to think about how colonisers and settlers would have heard names, recorded names said by local Aboriginal people. So nowadays, most people pronounce it as wokelup. Back then, we would have said woggalup, woggle meaning the carpet snake. Wokelup is a very special place. It's thriving with bush food, bush medicine. There's hunting grounds, and particularly for me as a man, there's men's business areas around there. It's really important not to just know that those sites are there, but to have an understanding of the knowledge you can get from it.
Hi, my name is Shannon Ugle. So my connection to this country, Korijekup, is through my mother's side, and she's connected on her father's side and his mother's, who are from this area. I am a National Park Ranger for DBCA, Department of Biodiversity Conservation and Attractions, commonly known as Parks and Wildlife. It's important for me to be a ranger on this country because this is my mother's country and my grandfather's country and my great-grandmother's country. And when I'm working out on country, I can feel my ancestors' presence just being out there. This country should be cherished not just by First Nations but by everyone for its own raw natural beauty. It is different to anywhere else in the world, I think. We've got so many different species compared to other worlds, other countries. And if we don't look after it now, we'll be missing a huge part of our beautiful country.
I always like to say Australia is a continent. I ignore the fact it's a country. It's a continent first and foremost, made up of hundreds of countries. And those countries have been around for thousands of years. So as we're sitting here on Binjareb country, that's just one of many. And I think it's really important for all people, Aboriginal, non-Aboriginal, migrants, to really understand the meaning and the history and the heritage behind places. And once we understand the history and the heritage and the culture, we can move on as one people. In an ideal world, hopefully things like place names will unite people. It'll give people greater understanding, greater respect. And so we can come together as one and just celebrate all being Australian.
The impact that this project has had on me has been healing. It's helped me reconnect and listen to some of the stories that I haven't heard before from some of my other elders who have been involved in this process.
It's almost one of the things, now that we've seen it, we can't unsee it. So every time we look at language now, every time we look at words, we're not just reading, we're not just speaking, we're actually thinking about the meaning behind it. We're thinking about the origins. And one of the really great principles, I suppose, of that decoding process was there's no right or wrong, it's just different. And I think that's such a powerful message and something that could really benefit many people when learning languages is not being ashamed of saying something the wrong way or not understanding something. We're all on this journey together.